You know, the past few years for me have been a little bit of a show. I am so excited about this next year. I have this gut intuition that it's gonna be the best year yet. Since 2020, at least for me, I've been doing so much internal work, so much reflection, figuring out what I want, what I need from life, what I want to do in the future. And there's been a lot of processing the past in the past few years. And I'm just ready to look forward and experience life through different glasses in 2024, which is going to be interesting. So I'm really excited about this video. I am not a planner. If you know me in real life, you know I suck at planning, but I'm really excited to kind of just go into this next year with some intentions, kind of reflect on this past year, what I was good at, what I might have not been so great at and I need to work on, and just setting some goals for myself so I can look at these goals throughout the year and keep trying to pursue the goals and trying to accomplish and conquer the goals. I hope through this video you're also looking at your own goals for the next year, looking at what you did good at, what you maybe need to work on going into the next year, and just kind of setting intentions for your year. So let's get right into it. I'm honestly really proud of myself for the past year. I've really been accomplishing a lot of my goals. Have I been perfect in the past year? No. And it wasn't like I really wrote down goals for myself. It's just like some little things I've talked about in therapy here and there. And I've actually committed and done those things. So I'm really proud of myself for doing that, because when you are in a state of just grieving and processing, when you finally kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel and you get through all of that and you're finally starting to feel more and more like yourself, it feels like the biggest accomplishment in the world. And I know that might sound super cheesy to some of you, but for me, it's a huge accomplishment. And I'm glad I am finally starting to feel like my joyful self again. So that's another reason why I know 2024 is just gonna bring so many good things. Like, I just feel it, I know it. I've put in all of the work to get to where I'm at now. I'm just so excited to look forward and to just experience what life has to offer, as cheesy as that sounds. So. Okay, so let's reflect on just what has been happening in the past year and how I'm kind of getting slowly back to myself again. One of my main goals this year, which is also gonna be a goal for the next year, which I'll talk about later, is getting outside of my comfort zone and trying to connect more. I did get outside of my comfort zone this year. Was it to the extent I was kind of hoping for? No, but that's why we have a new year. So I did get outside of my comfort zone, and I am really proud of myself for that. Also, in terms of that, which I feel like a lot of people feel like this as well, but I am someone who has a really hard time going to big group outings alone and not knowing anyone. But when you're trying to make new connections, meet new people, try new things, inevitably, you're gonna be in situations where you don't know people. So I've really been trying to do that, and I'm really proud of myself for doing that, because past me would probably just skip it. But if I skip it moving forward, I'm just gonna be a lonely human, and I do not wanna be a lonely human moving forward. We're taking baby steps, we're getting there, and I know next year it's gonna be even better. Also, in terms of YouTube things, I got outside of the eco-friendly product review realm. I basically grew my channel by making a lot of eco-friendly product review videos, and I did enjoy making those videos at one point, but then I just wasn't finding joy in making that content in general, and I wanna be able to make content that really brings me joy overall. So I tried new things. I did not make as many videos as I would have hoped to, but at least I tried making new content. And you know what? Even though it didn't get as many views as some of my older videos, I'm still glad that I committed and I tried and I conquered, and it is okay to fail. I'm glad I stepped outside of my comfort zone in terms of content and tried new things on YouTube. And another thing in terms of getting outside, I feel like everything is just getting outside of my comfort zone. But I started going to a yoga class this year, which I'm really, really grateful for, because I just feel like yoga really connects my physical body to my mind. Even though like I am not a pro in the slightest and I consider myself a beginner, it's been a really great thing for me throughout the week. So those are the things I have accomplished in 2023, and they might seem like super silly and cheesy to you, but to me, after all of that change happened in my life, I feel so light and airy again, and I hadn't felt like that in a really long time. So if you are going through some hard times, just know like you are gonna get through it. It's gonna suck for a minute. It's not gonna be easy in the slightest, but if you keep working on yourself and processing whatever you're going through and you feel your feelings, you will get out of it. So I wanted to start off with like setting intentions and having a word for the year. I've seen other people have words for the year. I did this last year and I feel like it worked pretty well. My word last year was balance, or I guess this year, 2023, I made progress in the realm of balance. Was I perfect? No. Am I exactly where I want to be? No. But I did find a lot more balance in my life overall, so I'm proud of myself for that. I have some words written down in my notebook, and I chose experiencing because I feel like the past few years since 2020, I've definitely been isolating, and I think I've been kind of in the bubble of like healing and working on myself and feeling like I wasn't good enough until I like reached a certain point, and that's not true. You are good enough. You don't have to be this like completely healed person, because you will never be a completely healed person. There's always going to be things that we all can work on in our own lives. So I think the biggest thing I just want to focus on is experiencing and living in the moment. I want to feel like I'm actually like living life and I'm not just existing, like I'm not just getting by day, which that was me in the past. Like I was just trying to get through what I was going through, and now I just really want to experience more. So let's talk about goals for 2024. Goal number one, which I've already talked about, is getting outside of my comfort zone. Even more so, just trying to get myself out there and do more things. So I have a list of things that I want to do. This might sound cheesy, but this is my second one. Believe in my worth and my content creation. I need to post more regularly and more frequently, and I need to take risks. That's the biggest one I noted here, is to take risks with my content, especially kind of moving into new topics, especially on YouTube. And I need to be okay with failing, getting outside of my comfort zone. It's okay to fail because that means you took the risk versus staying in your comfort zone. Number three, do one thing a day that brings me joy. Again, this might be a cheesy one, but I think that's so important to focus on. Even if you have a really crappy day, you're still able to do one thing that brings you joy throughout the day. Okay, now I have some like business related ones, which I don't think I'm gonna share everything online here. It's with my content creation and YouTube and all of that. So I have some like goals I wanna hit. Okay, this is something in terms of like business and content creation specifically for me, but this can be relevant for anyone, whatever they're trying to pursue or do. I made, I think, a reel and a TikTok video about this last year, and it's from a Mel Robbins podcast. So it's a quote from her saying, intentionally act like the person you want to become, because basically your brain like witnesses you doing that, and then your brain's like, oh, okay, so that is you, that is who you are, because it sees you taking that action. When I started seeing progress in especially like my YouTube content, that was because I was acting like a YouTuber. Like you just have to start acting like the person you want to become. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna embrace that. And I feel a little silly and a little self-conscious saying this right now, but we gotta embrace it. So we gotta work on that. Finally, it says, have fun making content. I've talked about this before, especially with YouTube content. I like fell out of love with the process because I kind of had like a formula with my eco-friendly product reviews, and they did bring me joy at one point. I've made some recently, so it's not like it's totally like never gonna happen again where I don't make that type of content, but I have to have fun with the content creation process. And if it feels like I'm not having fun, what is the flipping point, right? Like if I am not enjoying it, I have to change it up. And that's why I'm changing it up. That's why I'm not just sticking to one thing anymore. I'm just excited. It's gonna be so good, and I just feel it. 2024, I just know there's gonna be growth there, so I'm excited. So my motto this year is the best is yet to come. And I feel like this is so relevant to my life right now, especially just like everything that has been going on. It's gonna be nice to just focus on the progress and good things coming in 2024. Knock on wood, let's hope. Good things are coming in. I just feel it though. Like, my intuition is telling me that good things are gonna be coming in for 2024. So I'm really excited. I feel like I'm finally in this joyous place. And I was journaling last night because I made this list last night. And this list just feels so joyful for me and gives me so much hope and motivation for everything that's coming. And I know I'm a giant cheese ball, and some of you are for that. And if you're not, of course the battery died right as I was in the middle of my little speech. I'm definitely not someone who gets like super into New Year's resolutions. Like, yeah, maybe I'll make like a few goals or whatever, but I never like physically write them down or say them out loud for the most part. Something I've learned in the past few years is being able to write things down and say them out loud really does help your mind connect to the idea. And if you set a goal and you say it out loud and you write it down, it kind of makes it feel a bit more real. I hope this video inspires you to set your own goals and set an intention for the next year. I know it can seem kind of cheesy. I've been in that boat too, but I think it is important to like think about what you want looking forward and looking into the future. So I hope this gave you a little bit of inspiration in terms of that. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button because it helps me out with the algorithm and all of the things. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.